Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathan Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Mitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवारि पाशत्तरिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासारि गौरभक्तवृंदम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, Ero Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Krishna Prabhu. Okay, Haribol. So today we continue this nice book. Next chapter is Getting Spiritual Guidance. Pushta Krishna. May I ask another question, Srila Prabhupada? Is a guru essential for one to enter the spiritual path and attain the goal? And how does one recognize one's guru? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, a guru is necessary. In the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna and Arjuna were talking as friends, there was no conclusion. So Arjuna decided to accept Krishna as his guru. Find this verse in Bhagavad Gita. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha. Hari Sauri. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma samuttachetaha yachreyahsya nichitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Arjuna said, now I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm being your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Bhagavad Gita 2:7. Prabhupada. Yes, so a guru is necessary. Like Arjuna, everyone is perplexed about his best course of action. Nobody can decide by himself, even a physician. When he is sick, he does not devise his own treatment. He calls for another physician. Because his brain is not in order, how can he prescribe the right medicine for himself? Similarly, when we are perplexed and cannot find any solution, at that time the guru is required. It is therefore essential for everyone to surrender to a guru, since in our present existence, we are all perplexed. Arjuna is representing the perplexed position of the materialistic person. So under the circumstances, a guru is required to give us real direction. Now Arjuna selected Krishna as his guru. He did not go to anyone else because he knew, I can't find any other means to pacify me. You are the only one. The purport is that, like Arjuna, we should also accept Krishna as the guru who can instruct us in how to get relief from our perplexed position. So Krishna is the guru not only for Arjuna but for everyone. If we take instruction from Krishna and abide by that instruction, then our life is successful. Conveying that fact is our mission. This Krishna consciousness movement teaches, accept Krishna as your guru. Don't divert your attention. We don't say, I am Krishna, follow my order. We never say that. We simply ask people, please abide by the order of Krishna. Krishna says, Sarvadharmam parijagya mamekam sharanam raja. And we say the same thing, give up all other ideas of so-called dharma and surrender to Krishna. The same thing we don't say of ourselves. I am the authority. No, we say Krishna is the authority and you should surrender to his instruction and try to understand him. This is the Krishna consciousness movement. Now, one may say, Krishna is no longer present, so how can I surrender to him? Krishna is no longer present. How can you say that? Krishna's instruction is there, Bhagavad Gita. How can you say that Krishna is not present? Krishna being absolute is not different from his words. The words of Krishna and Krishna himself, they are the same. That is the meaning of absolute truth. In the relative world, the word water and the substance water are different. When I'm thirsty, if I simply chant water, 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 my thirst will not be satisfied. I require the real water. That is the nature of the relative world and relative consciousness. But in the spiritual world or spiritual consciousness, the name is the same as the thing that is named. For instance, we are chanting Hare Krishna. If Krishna were different from the chanting of Hare Krishna, then how could we be satisfied chanting the whole day and night? This is the proof. An ordinary name, if you chant Mr. John, after chanting 3 times you'll cease. But this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you go on chanting 24 hours a day, you'll never become tired. This is the spiritual nature of the absolute truth. This is practical. Anyone can perceive it. So Krishna is present through his words and through his representative. Therefore, we advise everyone to accept Krishna's instruction in Bhagavad Gita and to surrender to his bona fide representative. You have to accept a guru. So why go to a pseudo guru who will mislead you? Why not take instructions from a real guru? Now you are in doubt about whether a guru is needed. Yes, a guru is needed, but you have to go to a real guru. Oh, this is really nice conversation. That is the instruction given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Just find this. Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti jnanam gyaninas tattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Bhagavad Gita 4:34. Prabhupada. So this is the real guru, one who has seen the truth. Just as Arjuna has seen Krishna, Arjuna heard Krishna's instruction and said, you are the absolute truth. Now if you take the instruction of Arjuna, then you will understand the absolute truth. So what is the instruction of Arjuna? Find out in the 10th chapter, Pusta Krishna. Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. Bhagavad Gita 10:12. Prabhupada. And the Vedanta Sutra says, Athado Brahma Jignasa. Now, in the human form of life, it is the time to inquire into what is the Supreme Brahman. So here in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has realized, oh Krishna, you are the Supreme Brahman. So you should make Arjuna your guru and Krishna your guru. Arjuna is the representative of Krishna, the friend of Krishna. The guru is essential, but why go to a bogus guru? You will be cheated. For instance, when you are diseased, for your treatment, you need to go to a physician, but you want to go to a real physician, not a cheater who has no knowledge of medical science and misrepresents himself. I am physician and MD. Then you'll be cheated. The guru is necessary, that is fact, but go to the real guru. Who is the real guru? The real guru is Krishna, or one who has seen Krishna, such as Arjuna. Haribo. Okay, anyone can continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ribo.
Civilization means regulation. Pushta Krishna. May I ask the next question, Sir Prabhupada? Are fasting and other dietary regulations necessary for leading a spiritual life? Srila Prabhupada, certainly. For advancement in spiritual life, such tapasya is essential. Tapasya means voluntarily accepting something which may be painful. For instance, we are recommending no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating. So those who are accustomed to this bad habit, for them, in the beginning, it may be a little difficult, but in spite of this difficulty, one has to do it. That is tapasya. To rise early in the morning for those who are not practiced, it is a little painful, but one has to do it. So according to the Vedic injunctions, there are some tapasas that must be done. It is not I may do it or not do it. These austerities must be done. For example, in the Mundaka Upanishad, it is ordered that if one wants to become self-realized, one must approach a spiritual master. Tat Vijnanartham Saguru Evavi Gachet. So there is no question of optional. It must be done. And one must carry out the order of the spiritual master and the order of the Shastra or scripture. When you follow without consideration of whether it is convenient or inconvenient, simply because it must be done, that is called tapasya. Tapodibom, like other great spiritual authorities, Rishabdev orders that this human life is meant for austerity and toward realizing God. Therefore, in our Vedic civilization, we find so many rules and regulations. At the very beginning of life, one must be a brahmachari. He must go to the spiritual master's place and act like a menial servant. If the spiritual master says, go and pick up some wood from the forest, one may be a king's son, but he cannot refuse the spiritual master's order. He must go. Even Krishna was ordered by his spiritual master to go and pick up some dry wood from the forest. So he had to go. Although his father was Nanda Maharaj, a village Vaishya king, and although Krishna was the personality of Godhead himself, still he could not refuse. He had to go. Nicho was just like a menial servant. This is Brahmacharya, spiritual student life. This is tapasya. Tapasya is so essential that one has to do it. There is no question of an alternative after brahmachari life. One may marry. This means he enters Vihasta life, household life. That is also tapasya. He cannot have sex whenever he likes. No, the Shastra says you must have sex like this once in a month and only for begetting children. So that is also tapasya. People do not follow any tapasya at the present moment, but human life is meant for tapasya, regulative principles. Even in ordinary affairs, let us say you are driving your car on some urgent business and you see a red light, you have to stop. You cannot say, I have to be there in a few minutes, I must go. No, you must stop. That is tapasya. So, tapasya means following the regulative principles strictly according to the higher order, and that is human life. Animals life, however, means you can do whatever you like. On the road, animals may keep to the right or keep to the left, it does not matter. Their irregularity is not taken as an offense because they are animals. But if a being does not follow the regulative principles, he is sinful. He will be punished. Consider the same example when there is a red light. If you do not stop, you will be punished. But if a cat or dog transgresses, never find the red light, I shall go. He is not punished. So tapasya is meant for the human being. He must do it if he at all wants to make progress in life. It is essential. Pusta Krishna. And so, Srila Prabhupada, tapasya includes dietary regulations. Srila Prabhupada, that is also tapasya. For example, we prohibit meat eating. So in your country, this is a little troublesome. From the very beginning of life, a child is habituated to eating meat. The mother purchases powdered meat and mixes it with liquid and feeds it to the infant. I have seen it. So practically everyone has been brought up eating meat. Yet I say, don't eat meat. Therefore, that is troublesome. But if one is serious about becoming self-realized, one must accept the order. That is tapasya. Tapasya applies to diet, to personal behavior, to dealings with others, and so on and so forth. In every aspect of life, there is tapasya. That is all described in the Bhagavad Gita. Mental tapasya, bodily tapasya, verbal tapasya, controlling Begum, the urge to talk loosely or principally. You cannot talk nonsense. If you talk, you must talk about Krishna. That is tapasya. There is also tapasya in connection with Begum, the urge to express one's anger. If one becomes angry and wants to express it by beating someone or doing something very violent, tapasya will restrict him. No, don't do it. There is also tapasya with regards to the tongue, belly, and genitals. One cannot eat anything and everything or at any time he pleases. Nor can one have sex freely but only according to the scriptural injunction. I am sexually inclined, but I cannot do it. This is not the time. That is tapasya. So one should practice tapasya in every way, in body, mind, words, personal behavior, and dealings with others. That is human life. Tapodibam. If you want to simply be a human being, and especially if you want to make progress in spiritual life, you must act according to the Shastric injunctions. That means tapasya. Before Brahma could take part in creation, he had to undergo tapasya. Is it not stated in the Shastra? Yes. So tapasya is essential. You cannot avoid it. And what is the aim of performing tapasya? The aim is to please the Supreme Lord through the spiritual master. Jasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. One can attain the mercy of the Lord only by attaining the mercy of the spiritual master. This is the idea. Now, in today's educational institutions, who is teaching this tapasya? Now, now in today's educational institutions, who is teaching this tapasya? Where is the school or college? The students are even smoking in front of their teacher, and it is tolerated, no offense. What can you expect from such students? This is an animal civilization. This is not human civilization. No tapasya, no brahmachari life. Real civilization means tapodibam, godly austerity. And this tapasya begins with brahmachari life, learning to control the senses. That is the beginning of life, not ABCD learning. And maybe your character is less than an animal's, though you have a degree from the university, never mind. You have become a learned man. No, that is not accepted. Even from the standpoint of basic moral instruction, we must ask who today is educated. The educated person is described by Chanakya Pandit. মন্ত্রবৎ পরাদরেষু পর দ্রব্যেষু লোষ্ট্রবৎ আত্মবৎ সর্বভূতেষু ইয়া পশ্যতি স পণ্ডিতা. The educated man sees another's wife as his mother and another's property as untouchable garbage, and he sees all others are as equal to himself. That is the Pandit. The learned man in Bhagavad Gita 5.18, Krishna also described the Pandita. বিদ্যা বিনয়ে সম্পন্নে ব্রাহ্মণে গভীর হস্তিনী শুনি চৈব সপাপে চ পণ্ডিতা সমদর্শিনী. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, and an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. That is a learned man, not this degree holder. A degree holder who has no tapasya and no character. Krishna says he is a Maya Aporhito Jnana. His knowledge is stolen by illusion. Although he has learned so many things, nonetheless Maya has taken away his knowledge. He is a rascal anyway. This is a perspective of the syllabus. Very beautiful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Standot Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, who wants to continue?
I can.
Haribol, yes, Prabhu.
Cleansing the heart. Pushta Krishna, next question. Srila Prabhupada, what is the role of rituals in religion? Are they to be discouraged as is being advocated by some reformist, or are they to be encouraged? If so, in what form? Srila Prabhupada, a ritual is a practice based on tapasya or austerity. Generally, unless one undergoes ritualistic ceremonies for purification, he remains unclean. But in this age, because it is practically impossible to induce people to take up all these ritualistic processes, both the scripture and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommend chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the special advantage of this age, that by constant chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one automatically becomes purified. In his Shikshastakar, Lord Chaitanya describes the progressive benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. First, Cheto Darpanamarjanam. The beginning is cleansing the heart because we are impure on account of dirty things within our heart, accumulated lifetimes after lifetime in the animalistic way of life. So everything, the advancement of spiritual life, culture, tapasya is meant to cleanse the heart. And this is in this process of chanting Maha Mantra, the first installment of the benefit is cleansing the heart. Chetudarpanamarjana. And when the heart is cleansed, then a person becomes eligible for being freed from the clutches of Maya or the characteristic materialist or the materialistic way of life. He understands that he is not the body, that he is a spirit soul, and that his business is therefore different from merely material concerns. He thinks, now I am engaged only in seeking these bodily comforts of life. These are not at all essential because my body will change. Today, since I am in an American body, I think I have so many duties as an American man. Tomorrow, I will be an American dog body, and immediately my duty would change. So I can understand that these bodily concerns are not my real business. My real business is to elevate myself in as a spirit soul to the spiritual world, back to home, back to Godhead. In this way, the person who chants Hare Krishna purifies his consciousness. Then his materialistic activity is stopped. He knows that this is simply a waste of time. I must act spiritually. That is knowledge, which comes from cleansing the heart, Chetodarpana Marjanam. The illusion of wrongly working on the basis of bodily concept of life is overcome is overcome simply by chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the first installment of the benefit from chanting. And then there is Bhav Bhav Bhavu Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, the process of stopping the blazing fire of material existence. Next, hmm, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarnam. His life becomes completely auspicious and Vidya Vidujivanam. He becomes filled with transcendental knowledge. The next benefit is Anandam Buddhivardhanam. The ocean of transcendental bliss increases and Punar, Purnanamrit Amritaswadanam. He tasted the nectar of Krishna consciousness at every step of his life. In other words, his life became totally blissful. Finally, Sarvasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this Sankirtana movement is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift, and by taking up this chanting, one attains Kevala Bhakti and unalloyed devotion to the Lord. All the benefits of practicing austerities, penances, mystic yoga, and so on will be totally achieved by simply chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. And this is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Kechit Kevala Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana Agam Dhanvanti Kritsanya Niharam Eva Bhaskara. Just as when the sun rises, the all-pervading fog immediately disappears. So in this Kali Yuga, by the process of Bhakti Yoga, especially by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, all the sins are eradicated and one becomes fully reformed. In other words, one comes to the spiritual platform. That is the success of life, like success in life. The process of purification. Pusta Krishna. Sri Prabhupada, the next question somewhat echoes the previous one. There are various samskaras or purificatory ceremonies prescribed for every civilized person, from birth to death. Many of these samskaras are not being observed today. Should they be revived? Now, Srila Prabhupada, the real aim of sanskar is to bring a rascal to a platform of knowledge. Janma Jayate Sudra. By birth, everyone is the same Shudra. In other words, one is without any knowledge. So the purpose of sanskar is to gradually bring a person who has no knowledge in spiritual life to a spiritual platform. As it is said, sanskarat bhavet jiva. By purificatory process, one attains the spiritual rebirth. That is essential. Human life is the opportunity for understanding what one is and what the aim of one's life is. The aim of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. After all, we are part and parcel of God. Somehow or other, we are now fallen in this material existence. So the real aim of life is to return to the spiritual world where there is no struggle for existence. Blissful, happy life. We want unending blissful life, but it is not possible in the material world. That is happiness in the spiritual world. So our aim should be to go there, and every human being should be given a chance. That is real education. That is called samskara, the process of purification. Now altogether there are dasa das vida das vida sanskar, 10 kinds of purificatory processes. So in this age it is very difficult to follow them. But if one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra without any offense under the guidance of spiritual master, all these sanskars are automatically become fulfilled and one returns to his original spiritual position. Aham Brahmasmi. I am a spirit soul. So we are Brahmin spirit and Krishna is the Param Brahmin. The Supreme Spirit. As Arjuna said, Param Brahma Param Dhama Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. You are the Supreme Spirit, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. Krishna is Brahman or the Spirit. I am also Brahman, but he is the Supreme Brahman, while I am minute Brahman. So my business is to serve Krishna. That is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishna Nityadas. The real identity of the spirit, the living being is that he is essential, eternal servant of Krishna. So if one engages himself in this original spiritual business, acting as the servant of Krishna, then all the processes of purification and reformation are fulfilled. And that advantage of re-engagement in our original spiritual business is given freely in this age. Kirtanad eva Krishna mukta sangha paramam vrijet. Simply by chanting of the Lord's name, Lord's holy name, one achieves spiritual liberation. That the reformatory process or samskars are meant for purifying a person so that he becomes mukta sangha, liberated from all bad association of material existence and eligible to go back to back home, go back to Godhead. So this is the special advantage of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The question was, should purificatory process be revived? This should be revived as far as necessary, but all of them cannot be revived in this age. So people should take to the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then the reformation will be there and people will come to the spiritual platform, Brahma Bhuta. The realization of Brahman, then Prasanatma, they will be happy. Na sochiti, na kanchati, na there will be no lamentation or needless hankering. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. They will see everyone on the spiritual platform. And finally, mad bhaktam labhate param. In this way, they will come to the platform of devotional service. And then their life becomes successful. Is that question answered or not? Mr. Krishna, yes. Just one question I have, Srila Prabhupada. You said that some scars should be revived as far as necessary. Srila, the essentials, for instance, to make one a Brahmana, these four things are essential. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. These essentials must be there. You cannot dispense with them. You must at least avoid all sinful activities. Then one can practice Krishna consciousness, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Jesam tva antagatam papam jnanam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridvata. Person who have acted piously in previous lives and in this lives, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. You cannot become a devotee unless you give up sinful activity. Therefore, you have to begin with following these four prohibitions. You have to avoid sinful activities like illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication, including tobacco, coffee, and tea. Then you will become completely sinless. You will gradually become completely sinless. On one side, you have to follow restrictions, and on the other side, you have to engage yourself in devotional service. To engage oneself in devotional service under the order of spiritual master, the Shastra is the real way to remain on the transcendental platform. The transcendental platform means there is no sinful activity. It is above any question of pious and sinful activities are there as long as you are on the material platform. Good and bad, pious and sinful, these are all consideration on the material platform. But when you are on the transcendental platform, you are automatically without sin. Krishna confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunam samsyate dan brahma bhujaya kalpate. The life of vice and the life of piety are within this material world. But when one is spiritually engaged, he is above the material plane, on the spiritual plane. So the whole thing is that if you chant Hare Krishna mantra and give up these sinful activities, automatically you become reformed. You come to the spiritual platform, and in this way your life will become successful.
Haribo, thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading. Okay, now let's go to Sixastakam prayer because it's getting late. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavadvinirvapanam shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निधि सर्वशक्ति तत्र पिता नियमित स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवं ममापि पूर्वादिनम् ईदृशम् इह जाने न नरुगा
क्रीणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मनाटेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवां पुदौ कृपा तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदश्रुतारया वदनं गट्कररुटया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपुकदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
Yugaitam nimesena chukchusa pravosyakam sunnaitam jagat sarvam govindo vyohenam.
अश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः Ribo translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the hearts of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name can alone render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so fortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embarrass or make me the heartbroken by not being the present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything. For me, he is always my worshipful God unconditionally. If anyone recites or sees the 8 verses of the instructions by the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his artistic love and devotion for Krishna increases by day. Hari Bol.
Hari
Hare
Bol,
Krishna.
360
Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Panchatattva
Jai,
ki Jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Nityananda
Jai,
Prabhu ki Jai, Jagat Guru
Jai,
Jai.
Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai,
Jai.
Jai Gaura Premanande, Hari
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 Bol.
Bol.
Oh.